Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to be working on this, an integrated reception switch made by Antiference. Basically, it would be installed more than likely in a flat, and then the aerial from the roof would come down and connect onto one of these, and then you might have a satellite dish as well connecting onto these, and you would distribute it to all the different flats in the property. So in a way, it's a bit like an aerial splitter and a satellite splitter as well. Now, this was sent in to me many years ago, and I can't find the bit of paper, so a massive apologies to whoever sent it in. I seem to remember, I think that it was mentioned that there might have been a lightning strike and then this stopped working. Now when I plug it in, I could be wrong though, when I plug it in, it doesn't appear to have any life whatsoever. I haven't even checked the fuse, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So let's bring it over to the mat and see if we can get that lighting up again, and then hopefully this will end up working. So I think it's going to be a power supply problem, but let's find out why this little light here is not lighting up. So I've got something very similar underneath my stairs with all the F-type connectors as well. I believe the F-type connectors are supposed to give a better connection than the old-fashioned aerial connections that were just a plug in because these screw in. And we have 7 different inputs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have 20 different outputs. I presume that's where it gets the 7 here from for the 7 inputs, and it also the model number is AM 720T, so I presume 7 and 20 for the output. So maybe there's other models that might have 30 outputs, that might be 730. And I believe that these 3 are what you're going to have on a normal kind of aerial. So we have UHF, so that's where I would be plugging my one into, I think. And it looks like we can adjust the gain. And then we have DAB and FM. So you know, if you had like DAB aerials and FM aerials up on your roof, then you could plug them into here and distribute the radio signals around your house as well. And I think these here are for your satellites, so your LMBs you see here, so these would be like your quad, quattro, etc. But and again with the gains, but I don't know what any of that actually means. But yeah, what we're going to be looking for is, nice and simply, see if we can get that red light on again. So let's open up this and see if the fuse is okay. 3 amp fuse. Fuse is okay. Maybe the guy that sent it in, the fuse might have already been changed. Massive apologies. I remember the conversation. I remember reading it and having the conversation beforehand, but we're talking probably, realistically, probably 5 years ago now or something, or 3 or 4 years ago. It's not like me. I normally keep all the bits of paper with the items because it's rude. So yeah, apologies. Hopefully you're still watching the channel. I can see 4 screws on the back here. Obviously I am unplugged. Is it all going to be burnt up in here? The way those screws came out there, I don't think this has been apart before because they kind of snapped when they came out. So I reckon I'm the first one in here. Now, what we got? Let's undo that there. So we have the LED going up there, and we've got that feed in here. So that I presume is going to be the low voltage side. Oh, there we go. There we go. We have access. Now, can we see anything burnt? It'd be unlikely that the LED's just blown. Well, I can't see anything there. I'm wondering, is that a fuse here? Bridge rectifier here. I think we need to take this off and see what's going down. Massive cap, so I've got to make sure I don't get a shock off that. Ta-da! Right, so let's go on to the massive cap, this one here, and see if it's safe to work on. So negative, so it's these 2 big ones here. go on to volts DC. No, nothing there at all. So I reckon it might be as simple as the fuse. Let's go on to here. I think this is a fuse here, and I think it takes the live over to here. So let's just see if we've got something from here to here, which should just be the track. We do. Now, do we have it from here to here? We don't. So I think the lightning strike took out this fuse and maybe the fuse in the plug as well. There's nothing there. So that might be it. Everything else might be okay. Should we just check the bridge rectifiers up here? So no short there. And no short there. We do have a reading both ways though, but that's probably because it's picking up the one next to it maybe. We are getting a reading both ways, but it's not short. I think that's probably okay, because it's not like that. Right, that's that. And let's just go to continuity. And from here, it's going to work its way up to here. It's going to jump across here. And then you're going to go into the bridge rectifiers. That goes there. And let's just see if we have a short on the cap, which we don't. 52 ohms seems quite low though, doesn't it? I think we're probably going to be alright. Let's see this little switching transistor thing. We've got 4 legs on that. What? Why have we got 4 legs? Well, I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen a 4-legged one before, but there's no shorts there. Maybe the fuse did its job and it went. I'm just doing different combinations here just to see if it's going to be a short anywhere. I think it's just going to be the fuse, or at least we need to change the fuse and then find out what it could be after that. So now, what are you? What it says there, T2A, T2AL, 250 volts. So I think it's going to be a 2 amp. Let's unsolder it and then see if there's any markings on the fuse itself. There we go. So a heat shrink's been put on it. Oh, it's one of these ones. Let's just zoom in, make sure it does say 2 amp on it. So we have 250 volt, 2 amp, T2A 250 volt. Not sure if I'm going to have any of these. Right, I thought they would be in abundance everywhere, but not that easy to find the 10mm ones. There are plenty of glass ones, but the ceramic ones like this here have sand inside, supposed to have sand inside too, where they're able to withhold higher temperatures. So maybe there's less likely of an explosion than having glass ones. It's all contained in here, so I don't think it really matters. But anyway, I'm going to order up these ones here. Obviously, I would be able to get them from AliExpress, but I'm going to go for these ones here. They are 20mm instead of 10mm, but look here, we've got plenty of room. There's no bother to have, it's all empty in here anyway, there's no bother to have 20mm. So I'm going to put a 20mm one in, and it's T2A 5 pieces for 250 volts for $5.49 next day delivery. I just want to break this open just to see, do we have sound on the inside? Slightly worried about the shattering in my face. I have got my glasses on, but not safety glasses. I'm just going to kind of try to bend that. There we go. Oh, no, well, that's that cap off. Just wondering if you could just use a normal fuse and then just put the caps on. With the leads on, you know? Mind you, I think the fuses I've got are thicker than this anyway. There we go. Now, yeah, you can see all the burning on the inside there. So maybe the silicon, the sand, has gone, has actually melted into that kind of black ash stuff. Maybe you broke apart one that hadn't failed. Maybe it would be full of sand. Anyway, let me order one up and pop it in, hopefully tomorrow.
The next day.
Okay, so next day, and Amazon have delivered. I've had a little look, and they definitely say 2AL. And now I have spares in future. Now, if you're wondering what T means on these fuses, it means time. So it's a slow blow fuse. So I had to get a 2 amp slow blow ceramic fuse with leads. So if you look up the top here, it says T2AL 250 volt, which is what we want here, T2AL 250 volt. Now, the original ones had a heat shrink around them, which I'm not really sure why, but I might as well put one on because there's not going to be a huge heap of bother. So we are going to be going through here. I mean, by doing it, it's going to stop this any chance of shorting here. So I am going to be going around here. So solder this in and then shrink it down. Right, I know you shouldn't be messing with this anyway when it's live, but it just seems a little bit like there to shock someone in the future. So I'm going to put another heat shrink on it, and that way then it will just give it a little bit of protection. Or give the next user a bit of protection, you know? There we go. Right, okay. Height-wise, we're still the same level as that there, so that's fine. So let's pop the screws back in and see if this thing is now going to start working. Hold on a minute, I forgot about the glue. There was glue somewhere, wasn't there? Now, where was the glue? Just going to double check. I think it was underneath there. It was just here. I'm just going to remelt that down. Right, okay, so we are back together. Let's see now, is it going to go bang, or will the light up? Are you ready? Plugging it in now. No, it went bang. Oh, now, what is the matter with you? So that's definitely the fuse gone again. Now what's caused that? I was not expecting that. Oh, I can feel instant heat. So if we're quick, I wonder whether something would be hot. Oh, so I can feel the heat from the hot air from the glue. Right, so what is going to be a blown? We're going to have to get more involved. There was no shorts on the board, I don't think. So let's see what's happening. It's always going to be harder when something only happens when you turn it on, you know? So first things first, let's just check the cap, make sure there's no voltage in. No voltage, so I don't think it's getting as far as that. Let's see if we have a blown fuse. What? We don't. I heard a bang. I heard a bang. Definitely heard a bang. Just going to look at this diode here because it's very black, but it was black already. Oh, the fuse is going to be gone. It's the fuse in the plug's going to be gone, isn't it? Yeah, I'm getting a reading both ways, but it's in circuit. So I presume the fuse is going to be gone here. That's what the bang was. So this is neutral, which is here. Live is not here, so the fuse has gone in the plug. I can't see what wattage it is, but it does say 08W40. I don't know if that indicates what it is. But if it's 8 watts or 40 watts, it's still well within the 3 amps of the mains coming in. So something is causing a short when you plug it in. What is that? So let's go across, now that we have our fuse here, let's go ohms. And let's see what we got. See, that looks okay. It's like half a meg ohm. I think that's okay. Let me go through the bridge rectifiers again. See, we're getting a reading both ways, which I'm not sure. I don't think we should. So maybe there's a problem with the bridge rectifier. I kind of need to measure them out of circuit to see. Because if it was something on the secondary, it wouldn't be blowing the fuse, would it? And also, we don't have any voltage in the capacitor. So it says to me that it's not getting as far as the capacitor. So what could be causing a short as soon as we plug it in? So we have an NTC here which goes from here to here. So that's not going to cause an actual short, is it? Seven ohms. So what's going across it? We do have this safety cap here. And that's going to be in the meg ohms because we tested the incoming. And then we've got nothing. Oh, we've got another massive safety cap here as well. This one. But that's also going to be in the meg ohms. What have we got here? So this is this thing here. This kind of coil thing. Choke. Let's see that there's no short this side off that. Yes, that's the same meg ohms there. Then we have another safety cap here. So this is an X1, this is X2. So I think we need to unsolder. The bridge rectifiers and see if they're behaving themselves. Because if it was something after this, would we not still have a little bit of voltage here? Maybe not. Maybe it blows straight away. Hold on, let's go further. So after this, where do you go into? There's all resistors and all sorts going on. Just going to reach into the diode here. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. Look, does that look like a burn mark here? Look in here. You see right the way in here, is that a burn mark in there? And that would be a stress component, wouldn't it? See, I think if the diodes had shorted, they would be reading the shorts. What we're having is a kind of reading, we've got like a diode reading both ways. Right, so it looks like it's just got the one anchor point here. I think the first thing I'm going to do, because I can definitely see burning underneath this one here, and that's the only indication that I've got. So I think we need to unsolder this, and then we might get a different reading on these diodes then. So I'm going to undo these four here and this big point here, and hopefully then I'll be able to take that out. While I'm desoldering them, I will give a shout out to the lovely My Mate Vince Massive. The members this month are Keymon Services, Kip Hakes on YouTube, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeebs.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Russ Melanson, Rickard Bergland, Shamsa Al Suwadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from The Broken Past over on YouTube, Lee Benz, AJ Computer Services UK, Chris Bayans, Victor B and Garin Shaw. As always, a massive heartfelt thanks to the Massive and also everybody else that supports over on Patreon. Oh yes. Well, I think we can safely say that there is the problem. If you have a look at the board, you can see it's actually burnt through the layers there. Can you see that there? So it's intact here, but these are that's actually gone into the, I think the sort of fiberglass off the board, isn't it? That's nice. Now, should we see if the weird diode readings have gone? Ah, brilliant! Look, can you see now? Nothing that way. I should have known that yesterday, really, shouldn't I? Hold on. Oh, whoops. So reading that way. Excellent. Nothing there now. Reading that way. and nothing there. So if I'd known more about electronics, then I would have known yesterday that that wasn't right, and I could have gone further with the fault finding. Yeah. So you can see now there's only a diode reading one way on those diodes, which is good. So this thing here is putting some kind of short, I presume, across these two. Yeah, that might have been the short we were seeing. Right, I'm not going to have one of these, 100% I'm not going to have one. It's a 4-pin one, so normally things like this are like 3-pin. Let's zoom in and see what it is and if you can buy them. Well, luckily it's only burnt on the legs and we can clearly see what it is there. F, would that be Fairchild or something? 5L03800R. So 5L03800R. Let me Google that and see what it is. Right, they are available. It is a Fairchild. Yes, I got something right. A 4-pin power switch, FPS, Fairchild power switch, designed for offline switch mode power supplies. Embarrassingly, I don't quite know what it means by offline. I'm going to have to Google that. I know what a switch mode power supply is though. It features 50 Hz switching frequency, integrated MOSFET and protection circuitry, thermal shutdown, overvoltage current protection. Commonly used in LCD monitors, printers and small power supplies. And you can buy them. Now, I did have a look on AliExpress because you can get 5 of them for next to nothing, but unfortunately they only had 2 reviews, so maybe this component isn't that popular. And the 2 reviews both said they didn't work and they were counterfeit. So I'm not going to waste my time with that. Now, looking on eBay, they're quite expensive, but it is from a UK seller. I'm going to be paying about £11.50 for one of these between the price of it and postage. So when it arrives, I'll pop it in. Offline just means that it's off the line. Don't think of it like online, offline, like the internet. It just means off the line, as in off the mains line. So I think most power supplies I work on, switch mode power supplies, are probably offline power supplies. Anyway, I'm going to order this up. We're going to pick up the video when it arrives.
A few days later.
Okay, it's a few days later now, and my spare part has arrived. Cost £11.50. I'm just looking now. It's plastic at the back. Is this one plastic? Because there's definitely thermal paste on it. So I would have thought there would have been a metal back. I think that's plastic. Yeah, it's plastic. Okay, so I just need to solder that in. And hopefully this might well be working again. I have gone across a few of the resistors and diodes, and I haven't read the color codes of the resistors, but they seem to be okay, I think. I've got to use a bit of thermal paste on it. And I'm just going to scrape back this board to make sure there's no carbon there, because carbon can conduct a little bit. Oh look, the legs are like that on this one. Let's make sure it's the same. 5L0380R, 0R. So straighten up the legs. I'm just going to clean the board with some isopropyl alcohol. There we go, the incorrect amount. I'm putting it on this first and soldering afterwards, because otherwise I had it once where I soldered this in first, then I bolted it on, and it actually cracked this because you know, bolting this on and stuff when this is in place is going to put more pressure on this if it's not perfectly aligned. There we go. Right, let's solder this in. Oh, look at that. Can you see it's missed the hole? It's lifted a bit. There. So if I was to solder that now, you see there's no pad there. So let's put it out, flatten that down. and then go in again. There we go, I'm through now. Right, there we go, they're all done. Now let's clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol. So I give it a nice good clean with the isopropyl alcohol. Interestingly, the residue from it is actually quite black. So when I'm mopping up the old alcohol with a kitchen towel, it's I can see that it's got a black tinge to it. So I think overall there must have been a fair bit of smoke damage all over the board, but it wasn't really visible. But you can definitely see it after you clean it. Now I've screwed it back on. I just want to quickly show you the diodes now testing okay on the bridge rectifier, because remember we had a reading both ways, although they weren't short. Normally when I have a diode that's gone faulty, I would see that it's shorted. If it's working, you should have a reading one way on diode test and nothing the other way. But remember we had a reading both ways, but it wasn't a short, but it was a reading both ways. Well, look at it now. Excellent, so we've got nothing there now, but we will have this way. There we go. And we didn't have that before. So initially I thought the fault here might be a lightning strike, because I think that's what was mentioned all those years ago when I received this item. But now I'm wondering if it was just this 4-leg component that failed, because I would say it's a highly stressed component. This splitter is on all the time. You don't say, oh, I'm just popping up to the attic to turn on the splitter. Once it's installed, it's on all the time, just like my one is underneath the stairs, which you'll see in a bit. So it's going to be on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year, year after year. So maybe this 4-leg component is a stress component because it's doing so much. Often on switch mode power supplies, you will have a separate little chip controlling the switching transistor with using pulse width modulation, like on, off, on, off, on, off. But with this one, it looks like the 4-leg chip is doing everything, because I can't see a separate chip on this power supply. So the 4-leg chip must be doing all the switching and controlling it all by itself. So I'm going to say that this failed and then took out the fuse, rather than a lightning strike happening and then taking out this splitter. I was wondering if, because the aerial's on the roof or the satellite dish is on a chimney or something, that did a lightning strike hit that and then travel down the cable. But that way then you're going to be sort of affecting the secondary side, I would say, of the power supply rather than the primary side. So I think maybe if it did happen after a lightning strike, it might have been just coincidence. I'm wondering if this 4-leg chip just failed, and when it failed, it took out the fuse. Just like it did when I changed the fuse, it took out the fuse again in the plug. So maybe first time it took out the internal fuse and also the fuse in the plug. Second time it might have just taken out the fuse in the plug. Anyway, it's all back together now. Let's plug it in and see if it's going to work. Now, because I haven't tested the whole circuit, I'm a little bit worried. But I've tested a few things. I might have just wasted £11.50 if this blows again straight away. But here goes. Fingers crossed. Are we going to have the light come on there? Come on. Come on. Ready? In. Ah, yes. Fantastic. It's working. Now, you want to see this working. Is that on? Oh, that's on as well. Nice. You want to see this working, but that's going to be a little bit hard for me to do, because I do have something very similar underneath my stairs. It's just it's become a bit of a dumping ground, and also I'm it's all set up for my house at the moment. Let me see. Maybe I can show one TV not working by unplugging, and then I can plug the feed from the roof into this one here, and hopefully plug the TV into one of these, and then hopefully that TV will start working. That will prove then that this is doing what it needs to do. But I don't know if this has been messed with and stuff. Leave it with me for a bit. Let's see if I can get this under the stairs. I haven't filmed under the stairs since my Mr. Telephone days, so yeah, still all working good though. Here we are under the stairs. I feel like saying, hi, my name's Vince from Mr. Telephone. That's what I would have said the last time I had the camera under here. I used to love anything to do with cables. Now, I have rooms in the house that have Ethernet, and I choose to do wireless. How bad is that? If I had said that 10 years ago, I'd be like, what? But wireless just works so well now. I don't even need to plug things in. But anyway, if you're wondering what all this is here, this is my Armageddon pile. Hopefully it won't ever be needed. But got some rice, a bit of tuna, salted peanuts. What I haven't thought about is some soup down there. I haven't got any milk. I should get some long life milk. Problem is, long life milk still goes off, while everything here I can just rotate. So if I fancy a soup, I take a soup out and then I replace the soup. If I run out of bran flakes, I have bran flakes and then I just replace it. So I've got a bit of rice and stuff there. So if everybody starts panic buying, I don't have to get involved in that because I've already done it before other people have panic bought, which is good. This here is my stash of I can't take YouTube anymore, and that's been going down nicely. Anyway, here is my splitter down here at the moment, and what I've done is I've just disconnected the one that goes to the main room, and I've got the volume up very loud, so hopefully when I plug it back in you will hear it working. Actually, this splitter here is a lot better than this one, but this one is quite compact and does what I need it to do. So you can see it's all F-type connectors. This is the main one coming in from the aerial on the roof. You see UHF in, and then I have 8 outlets here. So let's plug this one in. I've put a little bit of red tape on. So when I plug it in here, excuse me, after about 30 seconds you will hear the TV start working. Unless the TV's gone into standby. Energy saving. Anyway, hopefully you can hear. Hopefully you can hear that. And now let's unplug that one. So the red one has now been disconnected, and hopefully you will hear it's gone nice and quiet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the input into this one here, and then I'm going to put this one onto any one of these, and we should have that TV working again. Let me just get that set up. So you can see now that I have the input going into there, and I've just got this one connected to 4 because it was just the nearest one today. It saved me stretching the wires. Now let me rest it in my Moretti and plug it in, and hopefully we should hear the TV start working in about 30 seconds or so. Right, I'm plugged in. There we go. Yes! I'm hoping you can hear that. I'm only kidding, by the way, about moaning about YouTube and stuff. I'm moaning just because it's a dying industry along with everything else I've always done, and right now I can't find the next thing. So I was into Kodak, which is not there anymore. Then I was into BT. BT now is just a shell of what it used to be. Then I was into eBay. eBay, it's very hard to make any money on eBay. And of course YouTube, and now YouTube is another race to the bottom. And I honestly am racking my ideas, my brain for the next idea. And I obviously I know it's going to be AI related, but I can't come up with anything. I can't think of anything that I can go into that's going to benefit me for AI, apart from making my job at the moment easier. The problem is my job is dying, and yeah, the only thing I can think of is to go into health, because I know people are becoming more unhealthy, like, you know, pharmacies and stuff, they're all going to be thriving. I'm honestly wondering, should I retrain to do something in the NHS? So yeah, not too sure. So obviously I'm going to keep doing YouTube as long as I can, but for me the writing is definitely on the wall. Anyway, let's go into the other room, show this TV working.
To get everybody behind.
There we go. So you can see it's working fine there. I've got to be careful because of copyright, so I'm turning that off. So a massive thank you for sending this into the channel. If any of you have any ideas for a new series of YouTube videos, please let me know, because you might come up with something that might give me another few years in this game, which would be fantastic. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you all very soon.
Bye.